Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? Well, we've got the information for you right here. And Dave's going to tell you about it.
Absolutely, guys. We use this awesome application called Anchor FM. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First off, it's free.
And who doesn't like free?
Yeah, free's huge. That's what got us involved with it. Second of all, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. So you don't need all those fancy gadgets. You can have them if you want them, but not absolutely necessary.
Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and many other platforms.
Which is great. More people can hear us.
Who doesn't want more people to hear us?
I mean, I like to be heard.
I like to talk.
Another great thing is you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Like 0 people could listen to you and you could still possibly make some money.
That's amazing.
How does that even happen? It's everything you need right here to make a podcast in one place.
It's a one-stop shop and it's all you need. Anchor FM.
Yeah, so you guys, if you want to start this podcast, go to anchorfm.com to get started. What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Apogee Podcast. My name is David Carter.
And I'm Kevin Harrington.
Kevin.
David.
Been a minute since we recorded one. We did a bunch in a row, and then it's been,
we
what,
didn't do
2 or 3
anything
weeks
for
now?
like maybe a good month?
No, it hasn't been that long, has it?
Maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah,
Tops.
at the most.
So what's been going on in the 3 weeks of traveling or absentee?
Well, yeah, a little travel. Did go to Colorado.
Yeah.
That was fun. Did a little ice fishing, a little snowboarding. Got to catch up with some buddies from high school. So
That's good.
yeah, man, it's fun. And we had one of them lives in Texas, one lives in Colorado, one lives in Boston, and then I live down here in South Carolina. So it was
like a boys' weekend.
yeah, man, for
Nice,
sure. It was
nice.
good. It was good.
That's awesome.
Um,
Anything else?
no, other than that, I've been working out a lot lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that going?
I should say lately. I should say this week.
Yep.
It's probably my first 5-day workout week in a year.
Well, you posted
so.
that story of you doing the box jump for the first time.
Yeah, man,
forever.
30-inch box jump. So that felt good. Yeah, I had my knee drained, I guess 2 weeks ago now, or aspirated. And they pulled out 40 cc's of fluid, which is a lot. Just to put it in perspective, every normal knee has about 5 cc's of fluid. So just getting that off my knee was amazing. So I've been doing good, man. I'm happy. Blessed and happy.
Just want to make a quick mention about if you get a chance, Jen Green has a new video. CrossFit HQ came out and did a video about her. You need to see it. It's an amazing.
Yep, I saw it. It's amazing. I think everybody in the upstate needs to watch it. It's super. I mean, we all know Jen's super inspirational. We love her. Obviously, CrossFit Greer has been a big part of this podcast from the very beginning.
Yes.
And so I feel like Jen has just been so open with her journey. And I know inspiration to both men and females at the same time.
I think it's very brave of her.
It is.
I mean,
No,
so
she's awesome. I love her every time we go to the gym, and she's just there saying hi. She's great.
So Jen, if you hear this, we love you. So
yeah, we do.
Congratulations.
Love you. We need to get you back on the podcast
Yes.
soon. Before we get started, I do want to introduce a new sponsor to the show. We have brought on New Balance store of Greenville. So if you're in the area and you're looking for a new pair of running shoes or cross-training shoes or just casual shoes, go check out the New Balance store. They're awesome. It's family owned. It's managed by a man named Michael Lennon. Super cool guy. They gave our listeners a special discount.
Apogee 10.
Yep, all caps. Apogee 10. So just go on in there, pick out your favorite shoes. Their workers there are awesome. They actually are super capable people, and they will fit a shoe directly to your foot.
I still want to go in there and get the dad shoes.
So yeah, again, that discount is good only in store and at that store. So it's right next to REI, right off the highway.
Yep. Right there beside Whole Foods in that shopping center.
Yep. So Apogee 10, all caps, and the number 10 afterwards. Really appreciate it. New Balance of Greenville. Thank you.
So our guest today is Jonathan Gunther. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on the podcast,
Good.
guys.
Yeah, man. Jonathan Gunther, owner of Five Forks CrossFit. That's going to be my very first question right away. So Five Forks Athletics or Five Forks CrossFit?
So our business name, legal name, Five Forks Athletics, but we are a CrossFit affiliate, so we still have Five Forks CrossFit. We do a lot of personal training as well, do some boot camp style working out, like fitness classes, kids CrossFit, and some other programs. So we all lump that into the Five Forks Athletics.
Okay, got it. Awesome. So I've been knowing Jonathan probably for a couple of years now. The first time I met him, I walked into his gym just to say hello, introduce myself. And we hit it off right away once we got out to the parking lot. And he was like, yo, whose Tundra is that over there? I was like, that's my Tundra. He's like, you had a dog crate in the back of your Tundra? And I was like, yeah, man. He's like, that's my Tundra over there. I got dog crates too.
Yeah, I think that's about how it happened.
Yeah, so instant friendship. I was like, this guy's a good dude right then and there. So, Jonathan, is this your first podcast?
Yes, definitely have never been on a podcast before. A little nervous, but I know you guys will kind of walk me through this here.
It's easy as pie.
It's super easy.
Super easy.
Just a bunch of dudes having a conversation.
So tell us about where you were raised and your upbringing.
So I'm originally from Erie, Pennsylvania, or the outskirts of Erie. If I said where I was from, you would have no clue what I'm talking about. Small little country town in Pennsylvania.
You come from Dutch country, Amish country?
Yeah, I have some neighbors that were Amish people, yes. We're not from the middle of the state. Erie's like northwest Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. But we still have Amish people. And yeah, I had some neighbors. On Sunday, you would look out your window and see some buggies going up and down the road as they went to church.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So what was it like growing up in Erie? Did you play sports out there? And
Yeah, real young, I didn't play too many sports. I remember middle school, I tried a little bit of some baseball, was pretty bad at it, so didn't stick with that too long. I remember I lost the game for my team, and I was like, I'm never doing this again. As I got into high school, I started playing, well, I should say middle school, I played soccer and basketball. Started taking soccer somewhat seriously because mostly all my friends did it. I went to where I'm from, again, we're a small area. All the schools are small. We just happened to be a good soccer school, I guess. And yeah, so all my friends were playing soccer. So I was like, that's what I want to do. And so started taking it somewhat seriously. So in about 7th grade, I started picking up soccer and didn't play it before that, but really loved it. And, you know, that became the sport of choice there.
Congratulations. You were the 3rd soccer athlete we've had on this podcast.
yeah,
Right.
well, that's pretty impressive to pick that up in 7th grade and then go on and play in college, right?
Yeah.
What position did you play?
In high school, I played forward, and in college, I played midfield, although my favorite position would be in the back, but it just seemed that they never wanted me there. So.
You're too short.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Left or right footed?
Right. But I often played on the left side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, 7th grade, playing middle school soccer. Were you on a travel team, or were you at playing for the middle
so
school,
just
or
started by
what?
playing some rec league, I guess, you know, which is the lowest of the low. You know, anybody can be on the team, and started realizing like, hey, I kind of like this. And from there, went to try out for, I think the high school team. I tried out 9th grade year, made the team, and I was obviously one of the youngest guys on the team. And so just really took on to really loving the sport. So I started playing in 9th grade club, travel soccer, high school, rec league still, indoor soccer. But I also played basketball in high school as well. So I had a little bit of off season through that. Same thing, short, not the greatest, but I could shoot and I was athletic. So I my junior, senior year got some playing time in some basketball games too. It was no Hudson Fricky, by the way.
Well, Hudson never played soccer, so there you go.
There you go. Yeah, you're one up on him. I think we had this conversation before. Indoor soccer, is that a thing in South Carolina? Indoor soccer?
No,
I didn't think so.
I
have not seen it. I remember
the reason why it's not is because we don't have indoor hockey rinks. Like if you had if we had more indoor hockey rinks, then yes, you would probably see it.
No. Up north, it's completely different. There are huge buildings specific just for indoor soccer, where there's like 4 or 5 indoor soccer fields.
That is correct.
No.
Part of that is due to
the
we
winter.
call it dreary Erie.
Yeah.
I mean, lake effect snow, the weather there is
Yeah.
miserable.
It's almost a completely different sport than outdoor soccer.
Agree.
I mean,
When you're like 5-on-5, it's just soccer on.
It's
soccer. It's hockey with a ball.
Yeah, you're rotating out just like hockey, like every 2 or 3 minutes.
Yes. The ball travels quite a bit faster.
So much faster.
Is it the same size ball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the same size goals though.
I was about to say.
Yeah. And goalies have to wear helmets because
What?
it's true. They do.
I haven't seen that.
I've
You
never
haven't
seen
seen
that.
that?
No.
Oh, dude! When I played indoor soccer, every goalie had a helmet.
Nice.
It was like a styrofoam helmet. It wasn't like
Okay.
a football helmet.
Yeah. No, I haven't
Yeah.
seen the helmets yet.
Wow.
Maybe that's what's wrong with me.
So, right. So tell us a little bit about how you ended up at North Greenville.
So I went to a small school in Virginia called Bluefield College, real small school. Was playing soccer there and decided that wanted to move a little bit further south. North Greenville had exercise science, which was what I was going for, and a little bit bigger of a program in soccer than the school that I was at. I think North Greenville is NCAA Division II, still a smaller school, but a little bit bigger of a soccer program. And felt led that was where I was supposed to go. So after 2 years at that school, went to 2 years at North Greenville, and yeah, really had no clue about Greenville, South Carolina before that. Got a little soccer scholarship though, so I was able to help pay for the schooling, which again made it a little bit easier than on making a decision of where I was going.
So we've talked about recruiting as far as when it comes to college sports. Did your first college recruit you to come play?
Yes and no. They didn't come to me. I sent out videos and a
Okay.
bunch of videos to a bunch of places, and they did respond though to that. A smaller school, and I knew I would get some playing time there. They were NAIA. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. I pretty much immediately, was able to get on there and start when I got there, which is kind of what I was looking for. And yeah, so they didn't search out me. I sent out some videos and did some tryouts with some other coaches and other schools a bunch around. But that was the decision just because I knew of some playing time.
And you said that was in Virginia?
Yeah, Virginia.
So when you decided to move schools to go to North Greenville, how does that play into the recruitment process? Do you call them on the phone and say, "Hey, I want to transfer"?
Yes,
or?
I send video. Same thing. I have some tape of me playing in college. I also do email them, say,
Right.
"Hey, this is where I'm at. I've played 2 years, looking to possibly switch," and they bring me for. Just like if I was a senior in high school going to a college day, they bring me on for a day. I practice with the team, kind of meet the coaches, hang out with everyone, see if it's a good fit, and then from there we start talking if it's what we need to be doing or not.
Cool.
How many years did you play total?
Started in 7th grade, so
Did you play out? Did you play 4 or 5 years
Yeah,
in college?
I played 4 years. So I went to school for 5 or 4.5 semesters. I had to redshirt one or sit out a year due to some transfer issues actually. So I had to sit out. So played 5 years in college basically.
Nice.
But 1 year, so 1 year was just basically on the practice team. So
Cool.
All right. So growing up in Pennsylvania, start college in Virginia, finish college in South Carolina. So when I have local patients, so like I've said this before, we have so many transplants come into our clinic. I'm sure you have a ton of transplants over at Five Forks.
Yeah.
I would say like 75% of our patients that come in here are transplants. But local people, they say that everything north of South Carolina is the north. So going to Virginia, did you feel like you were in the South, or
definitely.
did you really
I still felt like I was in the South in Virginia.
Yeah.
And people in Virginia still make you feel like you're in the North when you're in Virginia.
Sure.
So.
That's hilarious. So graduating soccer, talk a little bit about the transition of training for sport like soccer, and then just having the drive to continue to train for your fitness, and how that led to you finding CrossFit.
Yeah, that's a great question. So my senior year, my last year of college, I actually had a partial tear in my hamstring, like opening week of the season, first game. Woke up the next morning, leg completely black and blue. Pretty traumatic, just in the fact that it was my last year, and I knew that this might be it. And tried near the end of the season, tried to get back in a game and didn't tear it, but I got right back in, started sprinting, and like the first sprint, there it went again.
It's gone.
So that pretty much ended my senior year, which was pretty discouraging, for soccer. And then post-college, my first job out of college was at Sports Club as a personal trainer.
Okay.
Actually, I had an internship there, so I worked at the front desk a little bit while I interned, and then was a personal trainer once I got my certifications at Sports Club on Congaree. And then as I was working there, I had a buddy in Pennsylvania. He's like, dude, you need to try CrossFit out. I'm like, I'm not doing those kip and pull-ups.
Yeah.
You know, I was one of those guys. And sure enough, he's like kept harping me about it. And soon enough, so I went to CrossFit Reaction at the time, Brandon Chapin. And I was still personal training at Sports Club and working out at Reaction. And that's kind of how it started. So fitness has always been, you know, part of, I guess you could say, you know, part of who I am. I love working out, just in general, love being healthy, love being fit. So it was, you know, the competitive side of it when I was not doing CrossFit is something that allured me to CrossFit, even when I was working in like a traditional style gym.
So let's back out for 1 second. Is your hamstring completely healed now, or did you have surgery, or
I did not have surgery, and I tried to play soccer like a year and a half ago, and and pulled it again. So I'm pretty sure I have some scar tissue in there that is not completely right. So I can sprint for a little while, but if I start cutting real hard and going real hard, it pulls again. So pretty unfortunate.
Wow. That's yeah. Have you thought about getting it fixed? I mean, like completely fixed? Have you looked into it?
No, at this point in life, no. I do miss some sprinting workouts. Again, I do some sprinting. I kind of know where my limits are of maybe it's like a 90 to 95% sprint instead of going all out. But yeah, that's not really on my radar.
Yeah, it's a good thing though you don't do a lot of sprints in CrossFit.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing CrossFit?
2000, started recreationally 2010. So yeah.
Okay.
I just mean that by like at Sports Club was, you know, started doing some of the workouts on my own in 2010. I think I started at Reaction in 11. So it's been 10 years.
Okay. What is your best place ever? I'm sorry.
Oh, go for it.
What is your best place ever in the open?
Someone asked me that just today because I told him I was going to be on the podcast. I was like, honestly, I don't know. I don't remember. I've been able to be somewhat competitive in CrossFit, but there has been some limitations. So I remember in 18, so that was the last open that I did. I was like 150th or whatever, and that was in our region. So that's like, again, I think that was the last year of regionals. I might be wrong. And then some of the opens, like in 2013, had some really competitive workouts, but there was a workout with some heavy snatches, and I just couldn't snatch very much at that time, kind of knocked me out. So I really don't remember my placement there.
I got you. Okay.
So how long were you working out at Reaction, and what led you to considering opening up a CrossFit gym of yourself?
So I don't remember how long I was working out, but I do remember Brandon obviously owning the gym, and one of his employees went elsewhere, and then he needed someone. So I approached him and was like, hey, you know, I'm certified, got the certifications. What can I do to work here? Because I really love this stuff. And so he worked with me and started having me work there. And I worked there a year and a half, I think, before maybe almost 2 years. Brandon, you know, was a great guy. I heard you guys saying you're going to have him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Taught me a lot about CrossFit, a lot about running a business. So I am thankful to him. Hopefully he's listening to this. But in about a year and a half, had some friends, started off with friends and family that were kind of like, hey, you know, what are you planning on doing? I was like, I maybe want to open up a gym one day, which is kind of a touchy subject in the CrossFit world. You know, honestly, you don't want to step on someone else's toes, and it can be taken that way. So but I had a friend, a very dear friend, who I'm still friends with, who said, hey, look, I'll back you some money if you want to go open up a gym. Had a family member who I told, and they said, okay, we were willing to help you out with that. Started writing a business plan, and on the scene comes Brad Holbrook, who is my business partner, and he's kind of like, hey, again, this is a story from the Lord. I don't know how detailed you want me to go into this, but
go into it, man. I'm interested.
All the way.
I've never heard this.
He's like, hey, what are you gonna, you know? So he had been on a regional team with his team in Texas for I think 3 years in a row on a team in regionals. Never made it to the games. So he kind of said he was searching in upstate and was trying to find somebody that was comparable with him on the open, so to come train. So he found me at Reaction, comes, and we're working out together. And eventually, he lived in Texas, and he was flying to Greenville like 1 week out of the month, basically, and they were eventually going to move here. So one day he's kind of like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I just kept kind of pushing it to the side. And eventually it got to a point where he's like, no, seriously, what are you doing? I was like, well, I have some family and some friends that are, so I kind of have this business plan. I think I eventually want to open up my own gym. And he's like, that's funny. I'm going to move to Greenville and I want to open up my own gym. And I was like, cool, man. And he's like, where are you planning on opening it? And again, this is an abbreviated version, but I was like, well, our business plan is we're trying to go in Five Forks. It's somewhat away from all the other CrossFit gyms. There's no CrossFit gyms there. Means of income would support it for sure. And he's like, that's funny, I'm moving to Five Forks. And he's like, a quick backstory on my business partner. Again, one of the best friends, one of a brother in Christ to me, close with me, but he's all go. I'm a little bit more reserved. He's all go. He's like, hey, I found this building. Tomorrow we're going to set up a meeting and we're going to go talk to him. He's like, as long as my wife is on board with it, we're going. And so we met for lunch the next day, and it was like we're both shared the same views on what we stood for, with owning a business, with spiritually and physically and all of the above. And we're like, let's do this. So
that's awesome, man. So I that was going to be a question of mine, your strategic planning for opening up in Five Forks, because I think that's an excellent place. At that point in 2000, what year was that?
13 is when we opened.
So 2013 was Five Forks was still like an up and coming affluent area.
Yes.
Yeah, because when I moved here, everybody knew right away that Five Forks was the place to be as far as money wise.
Yeah. And again, because Brad is so pushy and so go for it, we were able to get a building at a price that if again, with it kept escalating, but where we got in at just starting out was pretty amazing. It was definitely of the Lord of how it worked out. The building was dilapidated. I don't know if you guys ever saw the pictures, but there had been nobody living or occupying that building for 10 years. So there had been, some vandalizers living in there, building fire pits. So we took a few months of I quit everything and moved in with Brad and had some hard times just to get the building going. And but it's, again, good memories, and I'm glad that we went through that.
So you weren't married at this point?
No, dating Brittany, but not married nor engaged. So
okay. Wow. So that's not the same building on Woodruff.
No, that is right. So that is the building on Woodruff.
That is the building
on
Woodruff.
Yeah, again, the pictures, it is the same building. It was dilapidated. There's trees and grass all growing in the parking lot.
Really?
The roof was all falling apart. All the doors were ripped off. It was just a couple months of a lot of work that Brad and I took on mostly ourselves, because obviously financially, we had to make it happen. So
I remember the first time I saw it, it was just baby blue and white is what the paint scheme was on the front.
Yeah.
But now, if I'm correct, you guys have put some structure.
Well, they moved.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're not currently in that location, but it was gray. It was like a gray. The building was yellow, actually, and it was all rusted out, but we had kind of pressure washed it, sanded it down. Again, did that ourselves, which is a horrible job, and sprayed the building, the front and the sides, into a light gray with our white logo on the front.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry I got the color wrong. For some reason, I thought it was blue.
Our color is blue. It's like the diamond of our Five Forks Athletics.
Gotcha.
Okay. So did you guys buy that building? Or?
No, we leased. So it was a 5-year lease. When our lease ran up, we had to move.
That's amazing. So did you guys had to have gotten an awesome deal on that lease since you did all that work.
Again, going back to of the Lord, there was 3 brothers that owned it, and they were trying to sell it for $2 million at the time, and they hated each other. So one took another to the court. It was in probate or whatever that's called, and we happened to be slide in at the right time. Got the keys to the land, getting shown the land and the building, and one of the brothers came in, started cussing at us there's no way you'll ever be in here, blah blah blah. So it was just kind of a miracle that we even got in the building for what we did, obviously with an escalating lease, but man, it's pretty cool to reflect on that and the story that kind of led up to us even getting in that building at a really good deal. Yes,
that's amazing. I love that. I think I say this every podcast because we get a lot of, I guess, quote, entrepreneurs in here, or people who have started a business, and it's just all the back end things that go into starting a business that people don't see. I love hearing these stories because it really inspires me.
Cool, man.
Yeah. So go ahead, Kevin. We keep interrupting ourselves.
So tell me about you as a coach.
Well, man.
Obviously you've got the training that you do, the one-on-ones, the kid CrossFit, and CrossFit classes.
Yeah. Me as a coach, man, I would say that when I first started CrossFit as a coach, it was how can I make people lift more weight, run faster, look better. And I still have that. I still have that desire and passion. Then it moved to, okay, we're trying to build a building, grow a business. So not very numbers oriented. And I think I'm at this point in my life where me as a coach is, how can I build relationships better with people? And I think I had that somewhat in the beginning too. It's just I'm realizing that is the most important thing. Don't get me wrong. People need to move better. They need to be healthier. They need to eat better. But the relationships that we create, that my wife and I create, the time that gets put into it, if it was just about the money and if we didn't have faith in God to get us through that, I don't think we would make it, honestly. And so me as a coach is truly just hopefully just caring for people and loving them where they're at. And again, I think that is what has helped us be somewhat successful, is our members truly know that we care about them.
I think that's amazing. I think that's one of the things that this community has, is a lot of coaches that actually care for their clients.
Yeah, I agree
100%. I mean, because it's so easy to just look at it as a commodity, and be like, you come in for the class and when you leave, and that's the last interaction you have till you see them again.
Yeah.
But to pour into them, as you say, talk to them, check in on them and stuff, that kind of stuff. I think that's amazing that we in this community have that.
Yeah.
We have it. A lot of people do that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I see that in the upstate, all the other owners, I think it's awesome what all of them are doing. I hear similar stories about them, the relationships that they're creating, the way they're changing people's lives. Now, don't get me wrong, fitness is a vehicle for that, right? People are getting fitter, healthier, faster, stronger. But the lives that are being changed, I think, is even more important. So
I just think I think what a lot of people miss on the outside, and they don't get it, is it's not so much, it's CrossFit, and yes, you're working out, and yes, everybody's struggling, but it's a community. And a lot of people, what do you mean by community? Well, you can go home to your neighborhood. How many people in your neighborhood do you actually hang out with that you know?
Right.
I don't hang out with my neighbor.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I know him, but we don't hang out.
Right.
So I mean, that's not really, the neighborhood is a community, but it's not really a community because you don't know your neighbor.
Correct.
But like, you can go to a CrossFit gym, and if you pour into it, the saying goes, like saying, as much as you put in it, you'll get back and double.
That's right.
So it's just, it's one of those things. If you want to be a part of it, then that's what you're getting out of it. There's so much more to it than just that.
Cool.
I agree. I think CrossFit is a hard thing, right? And when you do hard things, you're willing to do hard things with other people too. Yeah. And it makes it easier to invest in other people when they're willing to work with you. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like Kevin said, and you said, we see that time and time again. And in the upstate CrossFit community, I think a lot of owners live and breathe exactly what you just said. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it is interesting to me when you do talk to people about basically how they've evolved as owners and coaches. Yeah. They were so focused on the fitness. They were so focused on, like you said, on making people healthier, maybe being a little bit more critical on technique. Yeah. I mean, not that is extremely important. Yeah. But, not so much involved. I agree. Yeah. Saying, okay, this person is my brother in Christ, or this person is my friend. Yeah. And it's pretty cool to see that kind of evolve as you've grown in the business.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever spend the night, live in your gym? Was there at any point?
Man, talk about, again, like you said, backstory of entrepreneurs. We've had a few hard times in Five Forks, and one of them was in the beginning and the old gym, but where we were new, some things happened with contractors, money issues, all the above, and again, another miracle that happened. But long story short, I had to stay in the gym for 5 nights because all of our equipment was there. We had no doors, no electricity, no bathrooms. I slept on the floor with a gun in my hand, hopefully that no one would steal our equipment at the new gym, which we moved into a year and a half ago.
Wow.
I think it's amazing. I think that's one of the stories that we forget to ask coaches. Yeah. And a lot of members don't know this, but a lot of your coaches who have been doing this for at least 10 years, I can guarantee you that they have probably slept in their gym at some point. They either got out of their apartment and believed so much in the gym and the community that they chucked it and decided to put a cot and sleep in the gym.
Hey guys, we're going to take a break to thank our sponsors for today's episode. We're going to start off with CrossFit Greer. If you're living in the Greer area and are interested in getting started in CrossFit, go ahead and look up CrossFit Greer. Jen and Reagan Green are the owners there. If you mention the Apogee podcast to them, they will give you 10% off your first month's membership fees.
I would also like to thank Blitz Belts and Chris Kane for their continued support of the show. So be sure to use their 15% off coupon code at checkout. That's Apogee, all caps. That gets you, the listener, 15% off at checkout at Blitz Belts on your custom order. I want to thank Goat Tape for being our new sponsor. Goat Tape has committed its brand to providing the best in athletic tape. They are the standard for CrossFit tape, scary sticky. Now they are providing the best in KT tape. So at checkout, be sure to get your 25% off your wholesale purchase. Use the coupon code Apogee at checkout.
Finally, if you guys would like to become an invested friend of the show and are interested in supporting the show directly, go to anchor.fm/Apogee Podcast and click on the support tab. We love bringing you guys awesome content each week, so be sure to subscribe to the podcast, drop a review, and let us know how we're doing. So, was it a tough decision to say I'm all in as being a CrossFit business owner and not have another job on the side and making like this your sole income? Or
every once in a while, I'm not as a human, right? I do sometimes have thoughts that run across my mind. Man, I could be doing way better off maybe doing something else. But at the end of the day, again, I wholeheartedly believe that this is what I'm called to do, and my wife as well. Brittany shares the same passion. My business partner Brad and his wife Melanie share the same passion. So, as a whole, no, most of the time it's kind of like, this is what I'm called to do. And I believe in my heart that if we're doing what the Lord's will is, that he'll continue to bless what we got going on.
So this is 24/7?
Yeah.
7 days a week. I mean,
Yeah.
not 7 days a week,
Yeah.
but I mean 24/7?
Yes.
This is the main job?
Yes.
100%. That's
That's
awesome,
awesome.
dude. So tell us a little bit about your goals for 5-4X Athletics, in the future. I know that when I first met you, you were still in the older building, and then you guys were in the process of, I think you had just purchased that land, but the building wasn't up yet.
Correct.
So you purchased the building, or you purchased the land, put the building up. I know you purchased the land across from the parking lot. So what's the goals for 5-4X Athletics?
Obviously, there's always, we always want to grow, and some of that is grow for our current members. As I think every gym owner wants to be the best that they can. Doesn't mean that we want to be, to say anything against any other gym, but we want to be the best that we can for our members. So whether that's, I want to have every piece of equipment that you can ever imagine, so those things come through a lot. But yeah, on the financial side of it, we do want to develop the other side of again, financially, some things happened and we didn't get to as far as we would like with what we have going on. But someday, long-term goal, hopefully my retirement plan, and Brad, my business partners as well, is to develop that other side and lease out another building or buildings over on the other side of the property.
That's awesome. Is Brad still in Greenville?
He lives in Charlotte. So,
okay.
He has always worked for a gas company. He now works for Piedmont Gas, and his wife works for Duke Energy, and they moved him to Charlotte. So
okay, cool.
But him and his wife are still just as much involved with the business as they were. They don't get down as much, but to Greenville as they used to because of kids and busy lives. But he gets a text from me every day, and he probably does. He's like, "Oh gosh, what does Jonathan want now?" So.
That's awesome.
So you touched on it earlier. You've kind of sort of been in the upstate CrossFit community. Tell us a little bit more about how it's helped you as a business owner and how it's formed you as an athlete and a coach.
Just being in the upstate, or
no, just the upstate CrossFit community in general.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, community. All the gym owners, I could literally sit here and name all of them, have shown love to us somehow at some point, whether it be when we're going through a hard time or welcoming us. I'd say it's a struggle of mine, honestly, that I probably don't get out to other affiliate owners as much. And some of that is, especially in the stage of life where we're at, just going 24/7, not as many as employees I had once, and a growing family. So sometimes I feel bad that I'm not contributing maybe back to the community as much as I would like. But the community has always contributed back to us, and so very appreciative of that.
That's awesome.
Always said good things about what we have going on and supportive.
So I want to talk one more question about competition. We haven't really touched on competition much.
Yeah.
Besides the Open, have you ever been much of a competitor around the area?
Yes and no. And when I first started, that was, as most green CrossFitters, they think they can have a future in CrossFit.
Sure, yeah.
Exactly.
Bro, I still do. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we still have a chance.
Yeah.
Man, there was a short time where I was somewhat competitive with it. Again, I love competing, and quite frankly, I miss it a lot sometimes. but it can be all consuming or encompassing for me. And so I have to somewhat put that on the side. Doesn't mean I don't train hard. So that way I can still show some of these young kids I can still hang with them. But
that's so funny. I had Caleb Sylvie in here a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about you, and he was like, man, Jonathan on any given day can beat anybody in a workout. I just wish that he would compete. And I was like, bro, he's married, he's got a family.
Yeah.
At least he's still beating you.
Every once in a while, I like to hang with those guys, you know. So I still have a little bit. That way, if I ever decide to maybe bring it back, I can not look, too far off. But it is low right now. Competition is low on my priority list, and again, some of that is I also struggled with it being my identity. It was just all consuming, and I can't be a good husband. I can't be a good father. I can't have a good relationship with the Lord when I get so hyper focused on some of that stuff. So it's kind of a decision that I had to be like, okay, I'm here to work out because I love doing this. I love being able to help others, but I have to step back a little bit from that.
Absolutely. So if you did have a favorite competition memory, what would it be?
Oh man, I don't know. Again, I've been in quite a few competitions. I don't know that I had any favorite memories. Me and my wife, when we were dating or engaged, we did a competition. It was her first one, and it was like called a one-night stand or something like that in Charleston. Perfect. And we did scaled again because it was our first competition, but we won, and that was a lot of fun just doing it with her. And then some memories of some old competitions a long time ago, doing barbells for boobs at CrossFit Greer, hanging out with everyone there for a while, and then most recently I did get roped into hanging out and doing the last crash competition on a team with one of our members, Brittany Graham.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
that was
fun.
That was a stiff competition.
It was tough, man.
It's coming back around, but now it's going to be different.
I'm excited for it.
So let's kind of sort of stay in the whole competition area. What is your opinion of this year's Open?
Yeah, man, I'm good with that. Honestly, I think the 3 weeks for me in seeing in the gym was easier as a business owner than 5 weeks on keeping people interested in it in 3 weeks. And maybe it's because the year off last year, but I would feel that myself and some of our members were a little bit rejuvenated or more excited about it this year than they have been in a while, which was a lot of fun. Personally, I don't push the Open on my members real hard. Obviously, it's there, and we fully participate and have a great time. But I'd say, again, per statistics, my clientele, they don't love all of that competition stuff. So I don't push it on them too hard. But this year, I think we had 40 something people sign up from our gym without me really doing anything, talking about it much. And it also brought to my realization, like next year we'll probably participate a little bit more and push it a little bit more because we had a lot of fun with it. So
Sweet. Did y'all have anybody? Did your wife? She's gonna do fittest, right? Did she?
Yeah. So she qualified.
She qualified. Yeah.
Quick brag on my wife. She just had a baby 6 months ago, and she still qualified. And again, if she, she's kind of at that spot where she's not sure if she's going to do the fittest because she knows that same thing. She literally works out 5 days a week, 1 hour a day in classes, and that's about all the time because we have 3 kids now. So that's about all the time that she has to put towards it. And so I don't know if she's going to do the fittest, but she did qualify.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Who is Jonathan Gunther, the husband? How did you meet your wife, and what's y'all's relationship like with 3 little girls?
So met my wife through a mutual friend. He was a youth pastor, still a good friend of mine, and her mom was a volunteer at this church and with the youth department. And so I got invited to this rafting trip or whatever that they were going on, and Brittany happened to be there because her mom was volunteering there. And this is after college, and that's how we met on a rafting trip. Thought she was pretty hot, and so I decided to pursue it. And then realized that she was into fitness also, which obviously having the mutual thing there kind of made it a little bit easier. But as a husband, I am blessed to have a great wife. She has a servant's heart. Sometimes, again, and I know you guys know this, and we did touch on it a little bit, but owning a business, it's crazy sometimes. There are hours that get put in that not everyone sees, phone calls and text messages that are happening through late at night. And it's so hard sometimes, I'll be honest with you, to turn off coach Brittany and Jonathan and switch on to married Brittany and Jonathan. That is troublesome. But I do have a awesome wife. She is great. She has a servant's heart. She loves people, which makes it easier because she sees, that calling that we have, I feel like, to help others. And she's a great mother. She deals with our 3 girls, man. Sometimes I don't even know how she does it, but she does.
How long have you guys been married?
6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
And the girls' ages are
5, 3, and 6 months.
wow.
Wow, man, you're busy.
Yep.
So they hang out at the gym quite a bit
Yeah,
with you
yeah,
guys.
yep. So Brittany still works Monday through Friday. She typically will go home around lunchtime, and so she'll get there around 8. And the girls are with her there every day. Sadie, our oldest, will go to kindergarten next year, but yeah, our others will still be there with us.
That's awesome.
So they do the C1. Do they try to do it too?
Yeah, all the time.
That's amazing.
It is pretty cool, man. Sadie actually is 5, and that's where our CrossFit Kids. So she has been begging. She just turned 5, so we let her in CrossFit Kids, and she's doing all the stuff, and so she's loving it. And so that's a lot of fun too. They try to mimic their mother, and hopefully, they'll grow up enjoying and seeing the benefits of health and fitness.
For sure.
So let me ask you this. I'm going to go back to the athlete side of you and the business side.
Okay,
of you.
yeah.
What have you seen in the past 10 years that has changed the most to you as an athlete?
In CrossFit or me personally?
No, just CrossFit.
Yeah. Past 10 years change. I mean, the change that I've seen, again, the only way I can answer that is it's a little bit hard. I'm not disconnected from CrossFit because, again, we're affiliate. But I would say that some of my focus has not always been in the how do I say this? The everyday nuances of CrossFit. Again, it's just paying attention and trying to pour into our members' lives. So I have the change, obviously, with a new owner in CrossFit. I think they've made some very positive and good changes. We did change our name a few years ago to Five Forks Athletics from just Five Forks CrossFit. Just having that feeling that maybe something could go wrong with CrossFit, and we have to be prepared to have our own brand at that time. That's kind of what started that talk of Five Forks Athletics. But as a whole, CrossFit as a whole, I haven't seen that much change. I mean, obviously there's some changes that happen with all of the sporting events of it, the open and all of that stuff. But I think the methodology and what people get out of it, for me, hasn't changed in 10 years.
So would it be fair to say that you're not like a big fanboy of like the athlete side of it?
Yeah, possibly, yes.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I love going to competitions. I love competing.
Right.
I love cheering on everyone and doing well. But yeah, I don't get too wrapped up in all that stuff.
Nice. That's refreshing to hear because
Yeah.
albeit a lot of us that we've talked to, they know they're athletes. They know who they want to go see, or they know who they want to see. And to talk with you in the short time that I've met you and known you, is just it's you just don't seem like you're all wrapped into it.
Yeah.
Like it's just like you said, it's the methodology. I want to take care of my clients, and if they want to do the open, it's on them.
Yeah.
And we'll support them.
Yeah. And sometimes I think to myself, maybe I should be more wrapped up in it because I am a CrossFit affiliate. While I do believe in the methodology, though, that's why we didn't drop CrossFit. I believe in what the benefits of it are and what it can do for someone's life.
So let me ask you this. You brought it up, Dave. And this is basically a question for all of us here. Obviously, not Jen Green, but Reagan Green jumps in, like you said. For a long time, he's the only one I've ever heard of that will jump in. What is your opinion of that? I mean, obviously, you've stated your opinion. Do you think it's okay for gym owners and coaches to jump in on classes, provided that somebody else is there and capable enough to coach the class?
Right.
I guess what I'm saying is do you think it's good for your gym members to see you struggle doing the same things?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
I just the other day I had a member say to me, I was on the floor rolling around, you know how it goes, and he's like, it's nice to be on this side of it. And I was like, man, I promise you, this is every day for me. I'm there just as much as you are. So yeah, I think that it's great. Sometimes for me personally, my workout, I like to work out when not as many people are around because of how much I get stopped during the middle of a workout, especially during those busy hours. So, but most of all my coaches, and myself included, jump in classes though. And I think it's great, one, to have the community see that you're believing in the same thing that you're having them do, and then the same thing that you're suffering or going through the same things that they're feeling at the same time. We're not above that at all.
I just think, and the reason why I asked is, and my wife has said this before back when she was doing CrossFit a lot too, is, the way you see HQ put it out for some in the beginning, every lift was perfect. Nobody ever, dumped out of a lift. Everybody was finishing Fran. There was no, but it just got to the point where it's perfect. Yeah. And I think that kind of sort of played in the mentality of everybody when they first started CrossFit, because obviously you watch those videos.
Yeah.
They never really pushed Rich Froning failing doing the rope climbs,
right?
At the games.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, you had to, there's never been the culture of showing the opposite side,
right?
Showing the human side.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I think that's I think if there's anything that I think that needs to be shown more, is I think the more human side, as far as our coaches and our top athletes, do need to be shown, because we're all people, we're not Superman, we're not Superwoman. And so,
Yeah, I think it shows great leadership when coaches and owners jump in with the classes. So Jonathan Gunther, what kind of stuff do you like to do outside of CrossFit and family?
Outside of family and CrossFit?
Yeah.
I like to hunt. I do a lot of hunting. I have a bird dog, so do some bird hunting, some quail and duck hunting, and some deer hunting as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Did you fill up that freezer this year?
I did. I had more opportunities, but I only came home with 2 deer. Got some birds as well, so got a full freezer.
This was a while back on your social media, but I think you were doing some sort of like obstacle course shooting thing along with a little bit of fitness, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
That's called the Tactical Games. My business partner Brad is big time into that stuff.
Yeah.
But basically it's like a mix between CrossFit, like Spartan race, and shooting all at the same time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty fun, man.
Was it all handguns?
No, so you have your rifle and like an AR-15 and your handgun.
Wow.
And so you do a bunch of like challenging weightlifting and running and all rucking and all the above and have to shoot under duress.
That's amazing.
Wow.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I do want to talk a little bit more about your hobbies, but I forgot to ask about the social media part. What's it like being a business owner for CrossFit and running social media? Is that something that you handle? Or
no? So yeah, right now for our business, we pay one of my employees, Ashley, which again, I have the greatest team of coaches, and I know most gyms will probably say that, but our coaches and full-time and part-time are pour into people and care about the business, which is sometimes rare, I think, in businesses. So it's really awesome, the team that we have. But yeah, Ashley, she runs our social media and she does great at it. She, she posts things regularly, shows things that truly go on in our gym on a regular basis. So she does good.
I love that. And you guys' website is top notch. Is that something that you put a lot of thought into, or is that?
Yeah. It actually, it actually happened during the quarantine last year, I think, is when I was like, well, our website was terrible. And so we did find a company that helped me put it together, basically. So we paid someone to help put it together. And it was a long time because I'm not good at that stuff. There's some things that I'm good at, and that is not one of them. So there was a lot of time and effort into trying to get that. But thank you. Yeah, it was the final product I was happy with.
Oh, man. It looks great. What are your long-term life goals outside of CrossFit?
Man, long-term life goals outside of CrossFit. Continue to have a close relationship with the Lord and love others like I feel like it's my calling to do. Be a great husband. Be a great father. Obviously, I can always work on that. That is a long-term goal. Provide for my family for the rest of our lives, and again, just live for the Lord. On a daily basis. Sometimes not just running a business, but just life in general gets tiring. I mean, so we get caught up in our own things that we think are what we need to be caught up on, but really, it's not the most important thing in life. So.
Absolutely. So here's the big question. Are you guys going to go for a boy, number 4?
We get asked all the time, man. It was funny. It was like my first one, I'm like, dang it, it's not a boy. My second one, dang it, it's not a boy. Third, well, it was like I knew before we even we're going to have another girl. And I wouldn't change it for the world, man.
For sure.
Yeah. We, originally we talked about possibly wanting 4 kids. We're just kind of, after having 3, we're kind of like, oh, I don't know where we're going to go from here.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's funny. I have a friend back home in Michigan. They were going to go for their fourth. So they had 3 kids, I think, similar to you, really young, like under
Yeah.
the age of 6 or 7. They were going for a fourth, and then they were going to be done, and they ended up with twins, and they were
Oh,
just
man.
born.
Wow.
Could you imagine that, going for your fourth and then ending up with twins?
Game changer.
Oh my goodness, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, so Tommy Martinsik. I use
Yeah.
him as I'm like, man, I'm gonna need some counseling. He's got 4 girls, so he's a
Yeah.
good friend of mine. But he's been counseling me some.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
That guy's amazing.
So if people want to reach out to you, how can they get in contact with you?
They can. Well, I just recently deleted Facebook and Instagram personally. It has been so liberating. I'm gonna get it back here hopefully soon. But right now I took it off my phone. I guess I can access on the computer, but I haven't. So through our website, through our social media, you can still reach out to it, and at Five Forks Athletics, or at my Instagram handle is at Gunther7326, and they can still send a message, and I'll maybe get to it, or find our phone number. My phone number's on the website, so they can give me a call.
Sweet, man.
Good deal.
Ready for some rapid fire questions?
Sure.
I don't have anything written down, so this is going to be
Off the cuff.
off the cuff. You go first.
Favorite color?
Blue.
How did you pick out your hunting dog?
I actually had a German Shorthair Pointer growing up, so that's why I wanted it again.
Perfect.
If you could eat any meal on a cheat day, what would it be?
A good, juicy burger and fries.
Gun season or bow season?
Bow season.
If you had to pick out one CrossFit athlete that most is like you, who would it be?
Most like me?
Yeah.
Phew. I don't know. I obviously like things that Rich Froning is doing. You know, I think it's pretty cool, the things that he's got going on. So, but I don't know that I'm like him. But
Okay.
All right, so let's say we get out of here and Harrison hands you a black card that's paid for and says Brittany is going to meet you at GSP and you guys can fly anywhere you want for a week. Where would you go? No COVID.
No COVID. Anguilla. That's where we went on our honeymoon. Have some family ties that my grandfather used to own a house down there. It's in the Caribbean. It's beautiful.
Awesome.
That is awesome. What is your favorite TV show?
I watch YouTube, but we don't have TV, so I don't. Why I watch TV? I know I'm weird.
No, I watch a lot of YouTube too, so
Yeah.
it's okay.
I'm like the only person that doesn't watch YouTube.
Yeah.
I watch the Buttery Bros.
Yeah, I watch some Buttery Bros.
And I watch Josh Bridges.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, those are the only 2 things and then obviously everything my kids watch, but I'm not paying attention.
Yeah.
I just don't watch TV much
Yeah.
anymore.
All right. If you had a babysitter for the night and you wanted to take Brittany on a date, where would y'all go, and what would you do?
Dude, you're asking me crazy questions here. I don't know, man. Just having a babysitter for the night is a blessing. So we might just go out and sit there and be like, "Oh, it's quiet.
Yeah.
No chaos, man. It seems like it's constant chaos, you know."
Right.
So
That's good.
All right, so I'm going to bring you back to the CrossFit world.
yeah.
So it's Madison. It's the final workout. Who are to your left and who is to your right that you're competing against?
Guido Trinidad to my left and Rich Froning to my right.
What is the workout?
Things that I like some awkward stuff, dumbbell step up and overs, some pull-ups, and maybe a little bit of running.
Good. I got one more question, and I
Yeah.
love this question. You're about to do a 5-minute AMRAP. What song are you listening to?
Often I listen to praise and worship when I'm working out. So again, I'm not very exciting. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have a specific song that I jam to.
So I'll tell you this. We had Mike McDonald on here. He said the same thing, and so did Josh Miller. I think it's great.
Yeah.
But Mike posted a reel. I don't think it was a reel. I think it was just a post because he heard the background music on Instagram of doing 21.3 and 4. And there was praise and worship music going on, and the gym was packed. Everybody was watching him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it was amazing. People that were there said that they saw him tearing up a little bit during the workout because he
Yeah.
just felt so lifted up. So
That's cool.
I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Anything else you want to talk about, Kevin?
I can't think of anything right offhand.
Man, I'm really glad you came in today.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for
having me,
coming in.
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I think what y'all are doing over at Five Forks is fantastic. Your new building is beautiful.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
So,
it.
I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of prayer
Yeah.
for that building, and I think all your hard work is really paying off. Every member that comes in here that I meet are just sing your praises and say how much they love that gym.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
I know it's a loving place over there. So if y'all want to find Jonathan, go find his phone number on their website. Y'all heard it here.
Apogee Podcast.